to Fanatically Correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
Wollt ihr mich verarschen? Was soll die Scheiße hier? Wo sind Mikkel und Ulrich?
Katharina, es stimmt, was sie sagt.
Du hältst deine Fresse. Keiner hat dich um deine Meinung gebeten.
Charlotte hat recht.
Aha. Noch einer. Wer bist denn du? Bist du ihr Neuer?
Ich bin Jonas. Ihr Sohn. Und dein Enkel.
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, Yo Peace, and Omega.
So yeah, Fanatically Correct here. I am your host, Omega.
MSK.
Yo, peace.
And let's see, what are we going to talk about today? There's like a really good show on Showtime right now called.
All right, so I'm just gonna wait here while you guys talk.
Actually, I like how Yo Peace worked into it. So I'll just give him a chance to do it for the audience. So how you liking Penny Dreadful, Yo Peace? How do you like Penny Dreadful?
This is a setup. I don't like this setup that you guys are doing right now.
Horrible setup.
Go ahead, man.
I really don't like this setup. But if I have to say something, I'm going to say something.
Oh, here we go. What are your thoughts on Penny Dreadful?
Here comes rant time.
Listen. Hear me.
Listen, Linda.
Penny Dreadful writers, Penny Dreadful fans, Penny Dreadful directors. That show is not Penny Dreadful. That show has nothing to do with Penny Dreadful. That show is a disgrace.
It's not
Penny
Dreadful. Penny. It for sure is dreadful.
Yeah. It is a dreadful show, and it should have just been called Dreadful because it is dreadful. It's
Those are the
terrible.
writers. The writers said, like, yeah, I have a Penny Dreadful. Hold the penny. With some extra, with a side of extra dreadful.
Let me get more dreadful, please.
Okay, maybe I'm going beyond and too far for people that actually are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Maybe there are people that are enjoying it.
Especially last episode that you kind of thought, we should give it a shot.
Well, it did a season finale. By the time you're hearing this, obviously it's still a season finale, but whether it's a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but the first season of Penny Dreadful's City of Angels, to be specific, because Piece is saying it's not Penny Dreadful. So when you watch Penny Dreadful, which is on Netflix, all 3 seasons, done. That's basically what it is. This is not City of Angels is not Penny Dreadful. I mean, actually, it should be called not Penny Dreadful, City of Angels. That would be a better title. This way, it's like we're warning you, since we have one actor carry over, some of the writers and some of the creators carrying over, we're warning you in the title of the show, and it's called Not Penny Dreadful, City of Angels.
Yeah.
So
I got to give it to you guys, though. You guys saw the whole season.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it has its moments. It's just that it's so disappointing because it's not Penny Dreadful at all.
Those moments are in the first 2 episodes, though.
Those moments are what?
They aren't in the first 2 episodes. They have to be somewhere in the season. Because
the first episode had some moments.
Well, last podcast
was great.
Yeah. The first episode was great, and the last podcast that we did, I said that I was on episode 3. Apparently not. I was on episode 2, and that's where I stopped. And I tried to keep watching that episode today, and I had 5 more minutes left, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, it gets. It's over. It should have just been a completely different show. They shouldn't have mentioned anything about Penny Dreadful. And then if if you know a thing or two, example, like MSK really likes The Leftovers in HBO, which I do too. That's a great show from HBO.
Yep.
And if you do the research, there's people from Lost involved in this. There's people, from other shows, but they don't say from the creators of Lost, or they don't even say Lost is the Leftover. You know what I mean? Like, that would be horrible if they did. But my point is that it's like they should just call it
it was a different story
and see if people like it.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Yeah. So I went back and I thought about it, and I really thought about maybe, because in the last episode someone mentioned, I don't know if it was you, MSK. I honestly don't listen to our episode, so I really don't care. But I went back and I started thinking maybe it's because they were trying to do what the horror show does, American Horror, where they do the recycling. It's different storytellings of different situations in the the supernatural world, right? So I thought
like a seasonal anthology,
right? So I thought maybe that's what they're trying to do with Penny Dreadful, but the problem is just that that's not what Penny Dreadful is, and that's the main concern that I'm having with the writers. If you were thinking about that, you shouldn't have even named the show Penny Dreadful from the beginning, because now you really are screwing up fans, like real fans of Penny Dreadful. And I'm sorry, like I cannot back up this show. Yes, it has its moments, and yes, I enjoy some of the actors, but it got to a point that I don't want to say they were like overacting. I wouldn't say overacting.
I'll say that.
Yeah, of course. You didn't even see the whole thing.
No, I didn't. I saw the first two episodes, like I said, but last episode, Omega said that Natalie Dormer was very good in this series, and I don't really see that. Like, she's okay.
She's good because she's playing different type of
roles,
personas,
different characters.
Yeah, personas,
different characters. So she's good in that sense. The problem that I'm having with her character is just with the writers, mainly because they're not developing this story at all. In fact, the last episode felt rushed, and I have no idea why they rushed it. I have no idea why they felt the necessity to rush the last episode in order to give me a second season. I just don't understand what's going on in their mind.
I was actually surprised the way the season actually drags. I was actually shocked that they did so much in the final episode, but to still set up for another season. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they rushed it, but they didn't conclude it. You know, so it's like, what was the point?
And I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it, but it's. I'm telling you, you're gonna be dragged the whole season to not get an answer and go to another season. This is ridiculous. This is beyond.
I can tell you right now. I know MSK. I mean, he already checked out. But if he were to finish the season, he would definitely not watch season 2, because there's a little something in the season finale that's from another show, which you guys stuck around long enough for, and I know your piece knows what I'm talking about. But it has a Walking Dead moment, like a total rip-off of a Walking Dead moment.
Did it? Oh, Jesus.
And I can't say it without spoiling it, because MSK he'll easily figure it out. But I think you can spoil it.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Knows what I'm talking about.
I'm not gonna watch it.
At this point, at this point, just spoil it, bro.
At this point, I'm not gonna watch it.
What? Honestly, who's gonna come at us? I want to know what fans are actually going to come at us.
You won't know the character, and by the time it happens, you already know what's happening. But I had a feeling, because I actually said it out loud. It was one of those moments, like, the scene is happening, and then I said it out loud. I go, just look at the stars. And they actually said, look at the stars.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
What?
It was so bad.
Straight up. Would just straight up look at the flowers. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Put it this way. My wife was like, are they doing this right now? And I was like, yeah, they're doing this. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna do that. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, and
it was disappointing.
And you know what sucks about it is that I'm gonna have to see season 2.
Yeah,
because
I'm hooked.
I have to. At this point, you've given me no choice as a fan to check out. I have to finish this.
I'm actually surprised with you, because, like, you know me, I still suffer through I suffer and complain while I do it. Walking Dead.
You really do.
And after Smallville, I don't know how I did it again, but I'm surprised you guys fully were able to check out a Walking Dead like midway, more than midway through. So the fact that you actually feel like you're hooked for a second season actually surprised me. But I don't think they'll get another one. I think season 2 is gonna be their last season.
But you know why this is happening with me? This is what's happening. I like the timepiece. I enjoy the timepiece. Which, by the way, we're gonna talk about something really quick about timepieces. But I really enjoy the timepiece. I enjoy some of the actors in it, and I just need to know now what the hell is this show about, because I'm still confused. I still have no idea what the show is about.
Really? Okay. So they didn't talk about the whole like
I still don't
thing?
know what the show is going to do.
Yeah, what they're leading to. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Especially the way they concluded with some of the characters this season of what it looks like they're building to it for the next season. I'm just like same way. I'm like, so then where is this gonna go? Like,
yeah,
I mean, like,
it's so like whatever. Like, and they okay. That's it. Rant over, guys. Rant is over. I can spend a whole 2 hours talking about this, and I'm not going to do this to our listeners. So that's my rant. It's over. I'm done. I don't want to talk about Penny anymore.
All right, so we're done with that. So we go on a good show.
But a good timepiece is Perry Mason.
Yes, I do agree with that.
There.
I do agree.
Yeah,
with
I haven't gotten on it yet, but I'm hearing nothing but good things from these guys.
Yeah,
I'm hearing nothing but good things from other people whose opinions I trust on.
I think what happened to me is that I started these shows at the same time, and I decided to pick one, and I picked the better one because the first 2 episodes of Perry Mason is way better than the first 2 episodes of Penny Dreadful Los Angeles or whatever it's called.
The first 2 episodes of Perry Mason's are better than the whole episode, the whole season of Penny Dreadful.
And you know, and it's funny because I saw episode 2 of Perry Mason earlier today, and I finished watching episode 2, or at least tried to, of Penny Dreadful, and they're both doing a similar storyline.
Yes, they are.
With one specific character, only Perry Mason, the actor doesn't seem like well, I guess what all of us are agreeing with, they're not overacting. And Perry Mason, it's like legit. All right, I kind of believe this person is who she is. And it's like I believe in that character, not just an actor. When I'm watching Penny Dreadful, I'm like, all right, she's overacting. That's an actress overacting.
So, yes, so I kind of read that they were shooting at around the same time around the same studio. So that's what inspired the whole connection type of deal.
Yeah. Well, I read that they actually use similar similar places and the same background actors. Same background actors were doing the same thing. So that's pretty cool, actually. I thought that's, as an actor, that's pretty cool to go from both shows and you're still in the 30s, you know, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, my rant is over. I really don't want to get more into this. I swear, guys, I really don't.
This isn't going to be that show. We just had to mention it because we were, at least Yopiece and I, you know, we did a couple of Instagram stories and we've been talking about it, and we've been trying to, you know, because we really like the original Penny Dreadful series. So, we were pretty hyped and excited, you know, like 2 years ago is when they started, you know, giving information and sneak peeks about this new series, and it's just really disappointing. I mean, if the other Penny Dreadful never existed and this was just called City of Angels, maybe it wouldn't be as bad because we'd had nothing to compare it to and nothing to set us up for disappointment.
No, because then you'd compare it to the movie, to the Nicolas Cage movie.
Totally different City of Angels. From rom-com to whatever this is. So, but yeah, I'm gonna jump on Perry Mason. Also, I say it's 2 episodes, and hopefully I'm gonna
good.
The 2 of them.
It's
good. I mean, I think I was the first one. It wasn't me. It was MSK that noticed the preview for the HBO series of Perry Mason, and I liked it right away because of the actor. Because I watched the series The Americans, which I highly recommend to you guys if you're already digging this and digging that actor. He's one of the main characters in The Americans. He plays the dad / Russian spy / husband or whatever. You know, it's him and He's one of the co-main characters. But he's excellent in that series. Excellent. So I can already tell, they did good casting. So I'm sure he's doing a great performance, and it's HBO too. They're not, for the most part, HBO shows they interest you.
It's quality.
You watch
it's the best
it,
quality.
you're not too disappointed. It is. It's quality. It's quality.
And well, Netflix also has good quality, and that's my segue to what we're really going to talk about.
The insanity.
It's insane. It's insane. Yep. I'm just gonna do a quick non-spoiler review. If you're into a sci-fi series and you're just looking for a good quality sci-fi series, kind of like in the same scope of Stranger Things, then you have to watch Dark. And it's even better than Stranger Things. I'm gonna say right now that it's better than Stranger Things overall, and it's one of the best sci-fi shows I've seen. So, all three seasons ended perfectly, and I don't know what else to say without spoiling it. But
I'll piggyback off of that with the Stranger Things. What it doesn't have with Stranger Things, I agree. I actually think it's a better series than Stranger Things, which says a lot because you've heard us on this podcast. All three of us love Stranger Things. It's a great show, one of our favorites. Main reason is Stranger Things serves a lot of nostalgia. It's our exact demographic for this podcast. As you hear a lot on the podcast, it's the exact demographic. We're 80s, 90s kids. That's all the stuff that they're referencing. All the types of movies that we like and all that.
It's pure nostalgia, and it's exactly a great show, but
it is. But this is an original series, which is already the same thing. It's very hard. The superhero stuff is very impressive because you're getting new takes, and you're trying to figure out eventually when are people going to run out of ideas. And this is the same thing with the whole time travel thing, which is that it's a different show. It's a very different storyline.
I wasn't trying to give that away, by the way, but
well, you can't do without it. I think I think that's why the ratings, especially the first season, were low. Is as I think without knowing that, you kind of like, what is this? And like it either catches your interest or it doesn't, and then it's hard because it's also foreign. It's a German a series. And I think that's another thing too. That I think the reason it doesn't have the Stranger Things numbers. That's why I think a lot of people call it underrated. I don't really think it's underrated. I don't think its numbers are anywhere near bad, but they're not as high as Stranger Things numbers. And for that reason, I think when people watch a trailer or see a clip, they don't know what the premise of the series is about. I think by knowing that, it captures a much larger audience. And then again, it's not the typical genre. It changes genres, but more or less the genre is what the trailers give you, and that's what it is. They're giving you the genre without the part of the time travel genre. And I think it's important to know that because it's combining two very different styles that you normally see.
Well, I gotta check those
in the sci-fi.
the stats on that, because maybe domestically, for sure, Stranger Things is way more popular. But
that's what I mean. Yeah, domestically.
Yeah, but
worldwide it should be doing better because
it should be doing better. Yeah.
It's in a more adult show too. I mean, that's the whole difference between the Stranger Things. The Stranger Things is it has the nostalgia, so the adults like it because it's reminding you when you were a kid.
Right.
But
the kids
then
could
because the main characters are mostly kids, it's capturing kids now because they're also relating to that. Where Dark is, it has
it's dark.
It's dark. It is. It's perfectly titled. It's dark. It's dark.
It's dark.
Before we go spoilers, I guess your piece more or less. What's your review on it? I loved it. I mean, I thought it's a great series. That's 2 in a row. And
no, I think you guys nailed it. And yeah, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't say is. Well, you guys are comparing it to Stranger Things, and maybe in a feel type of way, I say I guess yes, you can compare it more or less, but I think. Just because it's so much more adult driven, I think
very true.
This takes it to another level, and I think for those fans of Stranger Things, which it's obviously all of us, I think it's just we obviously just connect with our childhood with Stranger Things. So again, just piggybacking on what you guys said, I wouldn't say one and the other on the same boat.
Yeah.
I think Dark, it's just in another level, and it's a very smart way of telling a story for the viewers. And I think you will enjoy it if you actually like sci-fi. I think if you're not into sci-fi, I think it's gonna be a little hard for you to uphill swallow because it's just one of those shows. It's like a Nolan movie and a show type of deal for me.
Yeah.
That's what I feel about it. It's just not in everybody's cup of tea, and that's why I think it's not getting the popularity. And I think now with this ending, it will pick up some viewers.
Yeah, well, I agree. A lot of people always look. I mean, we all the three of us do that. Like just MSK just jumped on Justified from FX.
Right.
We always try to look for something that's finished, so we don't have to get on the hook for that continuous watch. Like Yo Peace and I are both suffering right now, and I don't mean suffering because the show is bad. I mean suffering that we're having to wait with Doom Patrol. Just came back on season 2. They gave you the first 3, and now we're going week to week, and it feels like torture because we're so used to the binge watch now. So yeah, now that it's set, done with 3 seasons, it probably is going to get a big binge watch audience that's like, okay, sweet, here's another show I can just get it out and be done with it, enjoy it like a movie, just like a very long movie that you just commit more time to. And but yeah, I feel the same way. It's going to get an even bigger audience with that being said, and I think a lot more people are talking about it. I don't, not just us. I mean, we've been talking about it since the beginning, but just in general, you're seeing on social media and stuff like that. There's more and more people, discovering this show basically.
And just to like give you more or less of what's happening. Remember, even Black Mirror. It took a while for people to pick up on Black Mirror. In fact, I know people that have picked up Black Mirror just last year, started watching Black Mirror, and they're just recently going, "Oh my God, have you seen Black Mirror?" And I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
I've seen Black Mirror.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just that type of show that sometimes the word of mouth is what's gonna help shows like these.
Yeah, I think this one's gonna get pretty big.
Get
now.
better.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty big now after word of mouth.
Yeah.
I feel the same. So I guess we could start diving into some spoiler free. I guess we'll give the time in the synopsis. So for those of you about to take a break until our the fast forwarding to our necessity, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. We're gonna dive into dark, spoiler full.
That voice is back.
We're gonna go nuts. And right out the gate, MSK shared a diagram. And again, it's not the diagram. I've had this conversation with Yo Peace that I want because multiple diagrams here. But actually, okay, the diagram that they have in the series, and especially in season 3, on the floor is the diagram of Jonas and Eva and how they influence their 2
Jonas
universes.
and Martha. Let's just do that.
Well, Martha. Okay, Martha. But and then the one you just provided also has the origin world, the actual,
the original,
which we find out in this season. If you ignore the spoiler alert, this is really bad because I'm really diving right straight to
There's
the whole
3 worlds, guys. All right, so hang on. There's 3 worlds here.
So 3 universes. So we go from time travel, and that's the one thing we cannot give away because at the end of season 2, that was the big what? Oh, now they're going alternate realities.
Yeah,
this show's going crazy. You know what I mean? It's insane. But the diagram I want, so we have the one that they actually show in the series, which is the one that's on the floor. MSK's now provided one. I guess at some point we'll throw this on social media. I don't know where he got it from. I'm not sure he'll share that. Or did you make this? You got this from somewhere?
Why would I make that? No, that's on Reddit.
Okay, I don't know. Hey, some people get into it. I don't know. This is like the red strings. You like this stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
That guy that's making memes.
Yeah. No,
okay,
trust me.
I want a family tree diagram because there's so much time travel incest going on in this show.
No, for real.
Oh man. Real. It's like it's first you have the Jon Snow and the Daenerys situation of the nephew and aunt, right? It's not Jonas and
Jonas
Martha
and Martha
nephew, right?
are aunt and nephew, yeah.
Nephew, yeah. So and now we got. I mean, it's just because then I'm so bad with the names here. In general, I'm bad with names. But there's the other friend whose grandson is someone else's father.
See, you're already confused.
I'm so confused. Someone put it perfectly, and I think it was like MSK is the one who spotted or whatever. That someone put it's the greatest show to watch where you're confused 90% of the time.
90% of
the time.
Yeah.
It is. It so is. You're so lost half the time, but you're so entertained.
I think it's harder because it is a
following
German show with the names we're hard it's hard to remember these names. So
yeah, Ulrich, Magnus, Mika, Jonas. Yeah, it's all over the place.
So
Bartos. Oh.
Well, Bartos is crazy. His storyline is crazy because he ends up with Jonas's half sister, right?
Yes.
So he ends up with Jonas's half sister. So Hannah she goes to the 50s, meets up with this is crazy. Meets up with Regina's father, hooks up, has Jonas's half sister. She lives her life in the future. Jesus right? Gracious. She time travels back to 1908 or something, gets with Bartos, and then ends up having Hanno and Agnes, right?
Yes.
Hanno is Noah, right, from season 1, which is Noah the priest.
Yes.
Which ends up trying to get it's crazy.
It is. That's what I'm saying. The family tree. That's why they don't. That's why no one has it up there. I don't think they know the family tree anymore. I think they were destroying so many relationships together. They're like, yeah, we'll just, you know what? We're just gonna do everything by the end, so it doesn't matter. Like, this is really what it is. And then the callbacks are excellent because I think MSK is the one you posted a meme the other day about the woman in the lake.
The woman in the lake.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too.
It was just such a brush thing under the rug, just something for them to talk about. Like, oh yeah, they say there's the body of a lady at the bottom of the lake, and on a real clear day you could see it, whatever. And it's like you just kind of, because at that time it was still giving you, and that's what I was talking about earlier in the spoiler free part,
right?
The genres, you almost have like this horror, suspense, mystery genre, which is usually pretty weird with the time travel thing. Usually the time travel goes very sci-fi. So season 1, they were so deep into that part of it. They're like, okay, they're just like, this town is weird and there's rumors and there's dark shit going on. And, for a time, you're like, is it going to be more supernatural? Like, you're starting to think it's going to be ghosts and stuff like that.
Yeah, it had like a detective feel in the very beginning of season 1. It's very detective-y,
and it focuses on detectives in the first season. That's the whole thing too. Until they focus on Jonas in season 2, and then it just goes really down the rabbit hole with the time travel thing and him being his own personal paradox. And so when that comes back later, that Catalina's own mother, who abused her as a kid, who then came full circle to kill her as an adult.
She kills her as an adult.
And apparently Catalina's mom saw Black Mirror because she put them rocks in that backpack pretty fast to get rid of that body.
Yes, she did.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought of Black Mirror right away when I saw it scene. Like, sleeping bag and rocks. I remember that too.
Yeah, that scene was crazy, man. That
was a hardcore scene, man. Hardcore. And it's like, man, no one. It's like, by the end, and that's what's good about it. It's almost fan service the way they wrap it up, because by the end you're hoping that this is what's going to happen, because you're like, dude, everyone is so miserable. Can you just undo it all? Like, that's
just start from scratch.
You're rooting for.
Yeah,
you're rooting for. Can we just undo all of this?
So we've seen Game of Thrones, and I mean, we were so confused in Game of Thrones sometimes of who's related to who. All these things, and whose family and whose cousin and all this. My goodness, what happened? Yeah. Like, who wrote this?
And this is even crazier because it's
not one small town. Game of Thrones is a whole map.
It's a whole exactly.
One town.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah. This is the equivalent of just Winterfell.
Crazy.
That's it.
It's insane. So well done. It is so well done. I am very, very surprised that I actually ended up understanding some of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once you're really into it, aside from the names, because the names get confusing, they didn't make it that hard to follow. No. If you're really, really into it, but if you miss like one scene, you're screwed. Like you're
if you fell asleep and didn't go back to the episode, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yep. I had to do that on the episode before the finale. I fell asleep twice again. It's only because
that's the best episode.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is. It's great,
yeah.
But it's because it's a binge watch. And then I was like, oh, I missed stuff, so I rewinded back to where I remembered for sure, and I watched it again. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed because I can't no more. And then when I looked, I was on the last episode now. all of a sudden I just got like this big punch of energy. I was so wide awake for the final episode. Like, oh, I'm doing this now. Let me get this over with. Like, because I binged it in one day and I hadn't slept like much the night before, so I really didn't think I was gonna have the energy. But with one episode left, I was too excited to like. There's no way I'm gonna go to sleep now. And then
my problem.
To watch it.
I made a mistake in watching the last episode like at 1:00 in the morning. So I watched the last episode.
No, that's around the same time I watched it.
But you watched it on a Saturday, right? Like on a weekend?
Yeah, when it came out. Yeah, so technically Sunday morning.
Yeah, no, I saw that on a Monday, and I had to wake up for work the next day. So I saw it, and I'm like, okay, I can't go to sleep now. I gotta go on Twitter and Reddit and read like a bunch of like dark things, Oh man, that I don't know, man. That the way it ended was so perfect for every single character.
Yes. Great writing. Great writing. They kept along, and it's written. It's like you said about you can't blink for a second. It's totally written, that's what I love about Netflix is that they write their series. At least most of them. I mean, they have a handful that does the 1 a week thing, and they've tried it before. I think that's pretty much going to be an abandoned concept for them. But overall, this is another one of those shows that is 100% written to be a binge watch. Not because the excitement wouldn't be there. I think on a week to week, this would definitely get great ratings once an audience is hooked on it because they're going to tune in for the next episode. They would see what's going on, but it would be harder to follow. And one of the things that'll make it hard to follow is there's no way you can guess like 80% of how things turn out. So this would be one of those series that majority of the fan theories will be so way off that you're going to go into every episode so confused of all the other crap that you read. That's not what's happening. You know what I mean? And then you're not like, wait a minute, was that something I read or was that what happened in the last episode? Like it'll be one of those things because it's so far out there and creative.
No, it can't. That cannot have been a no week to week basis at all. For sure, I agree 100% on that.
No. And one of the things they did too is the way they treat their characters. Yeah, that's like another issue you see with like a show like Game of Thrones, perfect example. And even Stranger Things, except Stranger Things, same thing. It's written to be a binge watch. When you start to have like favorite characters, that starts to affect the writing because they see, oh, the audience is like this. We don't want to treat them bad. We don't want to dump them early. We don't want, you know what I mean? Like, and then it starts to affect how they treat the characters because now they're getting away from their story and they're starting to try and appease the fans. Where this is a show that obviously was written 3 parts. They had their plan because it worked out too perfectly to not have been. Maybe it was 2 or 3 episodes shy of what they originally planned and a couple things got crammed up, but overall you don't see it at all. And that being said, you don't, I guess, outside of Jonas and Martha, you really can't have much. And that's, again, seasons 2 and 3, because season 1 focused way more on the detective side of things, on what's his name again? Mikkel's father, who's actually ends up, Mikkel's father, which is the detective. Right?
That's awesome.
Am I
wrong?
Awesome.
That's Ulrich.
Yeah. It is Ulrich. Okay.
So season 1 is mainly Ulrich and his partner Charlotte trying to figure out what's going on with these kids in the beginning, and then it turns into the whole Jonas versus, well, not versus, but it turns out, which we find out later is middle-aged Jonas, right? Because we don't know
Jonas
that's Jonas.
Grown up, middle-aged Jonas.
Yeah, middle-aged Jonas versus Noah, the priest. So they set those guys up, good guy, bad guy. And, at the end of season 1, the whole twist was that was Jonas the whole time. That's an older version of Jonas. Yep. And, that was like the huge twist of season 1.
And actually, that's another big twist because like you said about that, and that's what I meant by this. Because even telling people that it has to do with time travel, no matter what, when you see the first season, you get that good versus evil vibe,
right? Because they set it up,
the supernatural vibe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Of like you said, with the Noah, with the priest versus the older Jonas, which we don't know at the time. So you have this good versus evil vibe, and then even when you see like the tunnel that's original, and we know why because when it was originally built. But you get that too, like it's like, oh, this is like some ancient Greek thing, and like this must be like a portal to hell. Like you really, and because of the tone of the show as well, and the name Dark, you really do get this good versus evil thing going, and slowly but surely through seasons 2 and 3, it's not about any of that.
It's not about it's about everyone. Yeah, it's about everyone trying to do what's right.
Fix things to making it
right. Yeah, the whole series is based on everyone trying to fix something for either someone they love or for themselves.
Exactly.
trying to, mainly for people that they love, because the whole thing about Jonas was trying to save Martha.
Yeah.
The whole entire time. And I mean, and the whole thing with Noah too. I think Noah's character, it was one of the best character developments, because they set him up as the villain in season 1.
Yep.
And by the end of season 3, it's like, nah, man, he
a
really loved
manipulated,
Elizabeth.
pawn.
Yeah, he really loved Elizabeth,
bigger.
and he really wanted to find his daughter Charlotte. Charlotte was in the
that's all it
70s.
was.
Yeah.
While this guy was stuck in the future in 2040 or whatever, trying to look for his daughter. But his daughter was in the 70s, who was stolen by his future
in the
wife
far future.
to make sure that had to happen. It's insane. It's
wild.
Yeah.
It's wild the way it jumps everywhere. And then you get, I mean, that's just, and then the craziest thing is the whole paradox behind it, that when it's all said and done, like, okay, who's the big bad? They each have a big bad, and basically the big bads were Adam and Eva, which were Jonas and Martha. But it's like, so you are your own big bad. You know what I mean? Like, and then you manipulate yourself, and you would think by the time you get to this age, you wouldn't any further manipulate yourself and like break the chain. It's like it just gets in that, which the whole thing with the paradox, like you're stuck in the loop, you can't get out. And I really thought it was gonna. I don't know about you guys. I was a little worried, only because I'm a little bit already jaded by other time travel paradox stories, where this is just going to end with either how the loop starts or whatever, but it's not going to resolve. Like, you really don't. Once you see the exposure and the revelation that it's a time loop, you're like, okay, this is done. They're not going to break from the loop. Whatever's supposed to happen is already happened. It's going to continue to happen. There's nothing to be done. The only thing that changes that it's not a time loop only affecting one reality. It's affecting 2 now. Yeah. And then when you get the origin one, I'm like, wait a minute, there's hope. I'm actually going to, they might fix this.
And I think that's why they had to do it. That's why they couldn't do it. Eve from Martha's second world, right? Like it couldn't be Martha from the same world as Jonas. It had to be Martha from a second world to introduce the original world to fix the whole loop. Which is the way they did it with Claudia. Which, I mean, I didn't see that coming, but the way that she figured it out and said, no, we have to redo this whole loop. So I have to see my daughter die again. And just to make sure that we get Jonas and Martha where they need to be.
We plug them at the right time. We plug them at the right time so they don't affect their loops, but are able to go and infiltrate the origin loop that then caused everything to happen.
Which is very good. Which is very clever.
Yeah, no, I mean, and in that story too, again, there's no plot holes where they just made it up as they went, because the hints were already laid out through the series with that character, and it's just, and that's what's smart about it. That's where you don't see, again, the Mandarin, you never see me coming, because he had such a almost insignificant part throughout the story. It's significant yet insignificant, in the sense that you would never be like, oh, it's gonna all be about this guy's trauma. You know what I mean? Like, no way you could guess that, that it was gonna end up being about him. The clockmaker. And then it goes there, and it's like
he was such a small thing in the beginning. I mean, not really small, but you really didn't pay attention to everything else that was happening around.
He wasn't one of the main players of the show.
That to be the ending of the whole thing, which is crazy.
And it makes sense, because even him, he experienced that one moment. And that was it. It was, from what he thought, a failed attempt at and he wasn't even trying to do time travel. Again, it went back to the supernatural. It's so scientific, but he was actually trying to bring someone back from the dead and within time travel, like just pluck someone out at a moment. And he just basically saw it as a failed attempt that didn't work out. And then his life was changed, because then he receives what's her name? We just finished talking about Claudia, the little girl that he has to raise. So that changes his life. So his story.
No, that's Charlotte that he has to raise.
Charlotte. That's what I meant to Charlotte. Claudia is the detective. Charlotte.
See what I mean?
He's already lost. Charlotte is the detective that G.H. Tannhaus has to raise as his granddaughter.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but what happens to him is that he ends up, that changes his life. So he's basically out of the loop after that. He's no longer really affecting things other than raising his, daughter, his adopted daughter, more or less, or granddaughters. The way he felt, because he had lost a granddaughter to the car accident. So I guess he saw her more like a granddaughter than a daughter. But nonetheless, that's it. he didn't have really a significant part in any of the other stuff going on other than facilitating the device to middle-aged Jonas to time travel with and to Noah. So he was like a very much a side character.
Yeah.
To then when you wrap it up, no main character. It's actually his.
Yeah.
His,
well, in season one,
in
season one, he was a main. I would say season 2, he wasn't a main character. But in season 1, he, like you said, he's the one that provided Jonas with the time travel thing. He's also the one that received the cell phone from Ulrich, which made him start to think about time travel.
Yes,
because Ulrich took the cell phone to the 50s, and he's like, "What the hell is this?" And that's when he started researching about all that stuff, and made it possible.
It's crazy.
But what's crazy? That's crazy in itself. That he became kind of a side character, and they brought him back into season 3. Also, how Claudia, how she figured out how Regina was not connected at all to Martha and Jonas through blood, right? And that's how she figured out she would live in the original timeline, because she knows if Martha never existed and Jonas never existed, Regina would still live. Her daughter, which is the one that died from cancer, she would still live in the original timeline. Like, she wouldn't be affected.
Yeah, and that's why she. Okay, you're enlightened. That does make sense. What she understood about that. Yeah, because she's one of the few characters that is mostly unscathed by the paradoxes.
Yeah. So that crazy. Is and
I gotta tell you, what was episode? I said episode 5. I think for me it was like the most impactful. I mean, it's right at the midpoint too. I mean, it's just after it's on the latter half, because so much happened in the last like 15 minutes of that episode. Starting out with, I mean, actually the last like 25 minutes, but it's like that trailer scene. Let me tell you now, there's not too many scenes I've seen like that in a while, which is like the knife fight scene in Saving Private Ryan, Patricia Arquette and James Gandolfini in True Romance. These like fight for survival type situations.
That scene was really sad.
Man, that trailer scene was just like, I mean, it just felt, you know what it reminded you guys see that movie The Road with from Lord of the Rings,
Viggo Mortensen.
With Viggo Mortensen and the kid, and it's like on a post-apocalyptic future.
That's also a sad movie, but it's good.
It's a great movie. But it reminded me a lot of that movie because we're going into that, again, post-apocalyptic, nuclear explosion world where it's humans surviving, and then you get to like the dirty part of other things that humans do besides survive for food. And it was just a hard watch because you're like, where is this going? And then it just gets even more heartbreaking because it's like, you already know what's going to happen. Her father is trying everything he can, but he's not exactly a tough guy. You know what I mean? And these aren't, and that's the thing. It's so real because they're not doing the John Wick thing or the action movie thing. These are not guys that have, technical fighting skills and things like that. So it's just very raw and very real. And then she gets in that too. And you're like, and after that, I was like, wow, okay, that was rough. And then I move into, Catalina with her mom by the lake. I'm like, okay, this is not getting, and again, dark.
Yeah,
like it's not getting a title any nicer. Show. It's a warning. It's so dark. Because then after that, and then Jonas gets popped.
He gets
by
popped.
The current Martha. Like, I'm like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
By the time the episode ended, like, what did I just watch? And I think that's the one that you took a breather on before you finished it the next day.
Yeah, I took a 2-day breather. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I really enjoy about this show? It's just the way that they were able to tell a time travel story, which I'm not sure if now I'm trying to think, but I'm not sure if it's been done this way, like this ever before. Top of my head, I cannot get one right now, but the way they were able to end it, it is so well done. It's beyond well done, because I think it took a lot to, first of all, to just write these characters out. Obviously, from the get-go, just writing it out. That must have been like crazy, amazing.
There's so many characters.
So many characters, so many storylines, so many different things.
And only just one quick side note, only because you're talking about all the different characters. I like the casting too because they don't do the makeup. They don't do the. They did a
I was
good
gonna
job.
go into that. Yes.
Go ahead.
All right,
And
go
I'll
ahead, go
let
ahead.
you continue that.
No,
go.
I definitely was gonna go into that because not only are you able to like write all these characters the way you're writing them, the casting, the casting director, whoever casted these people, by far needs to be casting for every single thing I want to see.
Yeah,
this person was able to find kids, adults, young kids, like all types of timelines, and they look similar with no, like you said, no makeup, no nothing, straight up people that just looked alike, and they were able to be good actors. On top of that.
It's insane
because they had to act.
No, and then the writing flowed with it because they give you, like, for example, if you look at a yearbook picture of Scarlett Johansson, yearbook in high school, and look at her now, it's a bit of a leap. You can tell it's the same person, but there's a bit of a leap. If you look at Scarlett Johansson, only 5 years out of high school, probably looks almost exactly like the yearbook picture. Right. So the whole thing with the 33 years at a time, especially for seasons 1 and 2, allowed these big jumps to be like, man, that looks like the person who's aged.
Yeah.
And it also allows you to understand why someone wouldn't recognize her own son grown up, because the age difference is enough. Plus they explained that gap too. There was no plot hole there. He disappeared for a while when he was a little kid and then came back to town under the new name, being raised by his foster mother who knew the truth and all that. But they do a good job of explaining the time jump. They make the rules to their time travel that big of a leap in years to give space between the actors. And then in season 3, by the time they filled season 3, the actor who plays Jonas is older. The actress who played Martha is older. So, and now they started bringing them closer together to like, okay, now we'll just do a 2-year jump here, a 5-year jump here, a 6-year jump here instead of just the 33 years, because now the younger actors that they're using more are more aged. But just the fact, I mean, it's just incredible. And that's what I'm saying with the casting is like, there's no makeup. They're not doing prosthetics. They're not doing anything. They just got actors that looked a lot alike and that can still act. I mean, when you watch it not dubbed and in subtitles, you even see more, because if you're watching it dubbed in English, obviously they're using different voices. You don't get as much the performance of how someone older and younger are playing the same personality. You kind of lose that a bit.
Straight up, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But it's just very impressive. So, I mean, on all scales, going to something outside of the scope of the story, which is just the casting director, like, thank you so much. Because like you said, that's one thing I was never lost. I never felt like, oh, wait a minute, is this that person young? Or is this like, no, they look like them.
They
look
like
you
them. Dude, when you see,
as soon as you saw them, you're like, oh, damn, that's Catalina. Like, oh, that's definitely Ulrich. And I mean,
well, specifically with Ulrich, man, because the middle-aged Ulrich and the very old Ulrich
look exactly the same.
I feel like they got that actor.
That was the same guy.
I thought it was the same actor, and they just put makeup on him or something. Like the same thing with Magnus, right?
I did too. Yeah,
the same young teenage Magnus and like the 50-year-old Magnus. I'm like, dude, that I could see that kid turn into that guy like easily.
Yeah.
Very well done.
It's very well done. Yeah, it's incredible.
But,
no, and
but,
even
that storyline, man. That storyline is crazy,
thing?
man.
The deaf girl is
the deaf Francesca.
Yeah, Francesca. The little girl and the adult version of her.
I'm sorry, no, the deaf girl was Elizabeth. Francesca was the older sister.
The one that this guy helped. But man, I mean, like totally like spot. Like you see, like that's this girl, and she has short hair, and and it's obviously not the same actress because there's a significant age difference. But just again, that's why I had to say like, and I'm glad that's where your piece was going with it, because just even the casting was just like everything is so well done about that show, and then it's simple enough that they're able to bring you effects where it's needed. You know what I mean? Because not the whole show needs big effects. So the moments where it called for it, I mean, they had good effects. I got no complaints. I didn't feel like any.
The effects were like the least of like. Yeah. I mean, you see the black hole thing and.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Yeah, like all that stuff looks great. It's just that's like the least of like the awesomeness of this show. You know, I bringing up the effects since you brought that up. I do like the way Martha and Jonas went out at the end. Like they just kind of like dusted, like it was Infinity War type dust, you know?
It was reverse Thanos. It was like pretty Thanos.
Yeah, it was like nice, like, all right, we're going out, you know. I told you we were gonna end up like together, but peace out, you know? That scene was great too. The way like they did it, they already found the guy that died, and they changed their lives and made sure the original universe stays intact. And they know they're about to die right now, but they were like, screw it, like this is what had to be done.
Yeah.
Which was awesome because they kept cutting between them as teenagers to the older Adam and Eve characters, which that's what Martha and Jonas become in their timelines.
Which is crazy, and they're going against each other the whole
time. They love each other, but the whole time they're going. They're insane.
Going against each other.
It's insane. I thought
because it's just it sours. You know what I mean? Like the romance they had for each other without any real moment, real time, because they only had moments together. They had. That's it, moments. They never had like weeks of being in a relationship. All they had was moments.
Yeah. Well, specifically
together.
for that Martha, because that's the Martha from the second universe, right? At least Jonas grew up with his own Martha, so he had that attachment to the second universe Martha when he met her. Martha just met Jonas.
Yeah.
And was like thrown into this whole time travel thing from out of nowhere, and that's insane, man.
Yeah, it's so well done, and then again, that's super cool.
Which
too.
at that moment made it easier for the whole process to be able to be done, for that loop to be broken the way it was broken. For me, finding her at that moment of meeting him for the first time is what makes it okay and easier for her to do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they nabbed her right before she kills him.
Right.
Is the scene. Right. So, which was the most drastic scene, but then the whole thing is that's what you find out is that because what matters at that point, and that's what the difference is. Adam spent most of his life, Jonas, the vast majority of his life, whether he was jumping around in time, whatever, he was aging through it, trying to save her. So for him, it's all about her. But then for her, obviously, it's all about the baby because, he impregnates her. And remember, it's right after she found out she was pregnant was the moment that they were able to manipulate her into killing him because the false promise of, oh, this is how it's going to, this is the way to salvation at the end when it's all said and done. And it's just like insane, to not see any other way than like this all has to end. So you kind of really understand, Jonas/Adam's perspective. Like this has to stop. Like there's just like, this is going in a nonstop,
I gotta watch
circle.
that scene because I don't think she gets nabbed before she kills him. I think they had already killed him. And then when she got on the bicycle with this guy, isn't that when they grabbed her? I thought that was before they. No, I think she had already killed that Jonas. That's why she was in shock when she saw Jonas again.
Where she saw him.
Yeah,
that's right. It was just after she killed him. That's right.
That's why she was like, well, like just right after. I need to rewatch that just to make double check.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's right because that was the Jonas that had not yet met her. Is what they did.
That's what she asked him. That's what she asked him, like, and he was like, "What?" Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Jonas asked her, "How was the Jonas in your universe?"
Just told him about it.
Yeah. Jonas was like, "Oh, how was the Jonas in your universe?" And she was just like, "Dude, I just met you." Like, she didn't answer that, but in my head, that's what she was saying. Like, I just met you like 3 hours ago.
Like I said in the last podcast, I was like, if you had a hard time with Endgame or just don't bother, bother, because like this is rough.
What did you guys think about like the last scene, like how those characters survived? And it makes sense why those characters survived. But what do you guys think about that last scene?
She says about the naming the baby Jonas.
Well, no, about just those are the people that survived. Like, for me, when I see Hannah, like I don't like Hannah. I saw Hannah the whole series. I was like, I don't like her. For me, she was just like, she was kind of crazy in the second season. She leaves Ulrich in the past. She had the chance to save Ulrich, and she was like, nah, man, you stay in jail. Screw you. And Ulrich is not a cool guy either. Like he's not the perfect dude either, but he's from another time. You have a chance to save him and go back to your time, but you're like, nah.
But she was even like, and they even hinted that she was that way in the alternate universe too, because she was, or like, I want to destroy, like Claudia, because that's who he was having an affair with in that world. Like, I want to destroy him, whatever. And then she was like, they really showed she was always an unstable person.
She wanted to destroy Charlotte's life because Ulrich was having an affair with Charlotte.
But that's why I said, because you kept saying that this guy, like, he always gets screwed. Like, it would be better to finally see him happy at the end. I'm like, is he? Because now he has.
Now he has Hannah, and then having Jonas,
and Jonas is gonna be his kid. Like, I don't know, it's gonna turn out great for him. I mean, obviously a different Jonas because it's not.
It's not gonna be the same guy. Yeah, it's gonna. It's just that name. But
it's kind of the Inception, top spinning. Like,
it's not. It's not gonna be the same. There can't be. It's another dad. Like, and it's another family tree.
Yeah, it's just throwing the name out there.
Yeah, there's just the name. Yeah.
And which would make sense because I mean Jonas. Was her kid, so she's, that's no matter. Again, the loop was already after she was already born, so time didn't change that point. Some people they have a name in their head, that they've always want, for a pet or for a kid or for whatever, and you just always have that. Like that's just an idea I've always had. So why would that change?
Now, to be fair, we don't know that guy's background. There's. I don't know his family tree at all. He's not related to any of these people. There's question marks to that guy's background.
That's true.
So
that is true.
So we don't know. Maybe some crazy stuff happens in the original. Who knows? This could be the sequel.
Very satisfied with it all over.
Look at the map. You see his name, and there's question marks of who his family is. It's insane.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
because everyone else is. They are like you are your family. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know who my grandfather is. You are your grandfather.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
Oh, that's wild. Man.
So good.
Yeah. We're getting a little long there. We could keep going, or we could switch over to a necessity.
I mean, I could talk about the show for hours, but I mean, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I think we need to just call it. I mean, most of the people have probably seen the show that are listening still now, so it was just a fun watch, and I think we should just maybe rewatch it. If anything, just rewatch it now. Straight up like 1, 2, and 3, and just like hopefully you catch more this time around.
Yeah, and I think, and I hear that we always do time travel. I mean, actually, we Nerdcessity, the MSK pulled it up. I think episode 17 is when Dark was our Nerdcessity. It's actually one of our panels at one of our cons. So we always do time travel stuff. So it obviously will come up in a time travel conversation. And then, of course, if you're listening to this, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter. Yopies will give you the info now. But my point is that give us questions, suggestions, and then the next time we talk Dark, and we could dive in even deeper into seasons 1, seasons 2, seasons 3, especially after a fresh, full binge watch of the three seasons all at once. And like I said, Yopies, tell the people our info.
That's right. So you can reach us at Fanatically Correct on PodBean, Google Play, AnyPod. We're on Spotify. We're on the podcast for iOS. And if you can, please kind of review us on there because that's where we get, some of that good credit, if you want to call it good credit. We're also, our website is fanaticallycorrect.com. Follow us on @FanCorrect on Twitter, Instagram, Fanatically Correct on Facebook and MeWe. And you can email us at contactfancor@gmail.com. Or just leave us a voicemail at 786-704-8404. That's it. That's all I got, guys.
Remember, we don't.
You sure you don't got our 33-year tunnel that people can contact us through?
Well, just remember, through that tunnel we can. We're not going to pay for any charges.
Exactly.
Yeah. That tunnel. Beware of that tunnel.
Yeah, I don't know what that 1918. I don't know what 1918 roaming charges are in Germany.
Yeah,
we'll pass. For Nerdcessity, I mean, I have one here. You guys cool with that to do? I think it's pretty relevant. We could do it in a very easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna go with and this actually because not all our Nerdcessities need to be on theme with the topic of the series, and that's the whole point. We mix it up and mix it around. Joel Schumacher, very famous director, recently passed away.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And you know what? I knew there was other things he did. I hadn't really detailed because especially myself, I'm very guilty of this, of really upset at the original Batman run of Tim Burton and of course Joe Schumacher and then whoever did Batman and Robin.
That was Joe Schumacher.
But yeah, he did Batman Forever though.
No, he did both of them.
Joe Schumacher. But yeah, Joe Schumacher passed away.
Why is he ignoring that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
He did both of them.
He did do Batman and Robin also?
Yeah, he did both of them.
Yeah, he
last
did
two.
Batman and Robin, yes.
All right, I'm going to pretend for his sake that he
just
didn't do
ignored
Batman and Robin. No, but he actually he has some incredible work. I mean, he has a list here, and I figured the easiest way to do it is as a necessity, we each give one of a Joe Schumacher film that we strongly recommend, that if it's not already in your repertoire of movies that you have seen, or one that's worth just rewatching if you haven't seen in a while. And I'll go last, so whichever one of you guys want to give one first. I gave the list of what I think are his best directorial films. If you have something different, you're more than welcome to go off list, guys. But I guess Yo Piece, what would be the Joe Schumacher necessity you would give?
All right, thanks for putting me there, buddy. Right on the spot. I'm gonna go with Flatliners. I think that's one of his, right? Flatliners.
Yes.
Was that one of his?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I really love Flatliners. For me personally, I actually enjoy that movie a lot. I thought that movie was dark. I thought it could be even darker. I seen the remake, and the remake is pretty decent too.
It is.
But yeah, that's one of my go-to movies of his that I actually enjoy.
Yeah, I didn't realize for a while that he had done a handful of these. I didn't realize he did until I hit the IMDb page. But yeah, Flatliners is a good one, and that's definitely a pre Jack Bauer Kiefer Sutherland right there.
For sure.
Nothing like that character in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so this way you have.
So I'm just doing one. I'm just doing one, or doing three, or what are we doing?
Well, let's do one each, and then we'll
we'll just go from there.
That's your top one, so I'll let MSK take one. This way we can
get one
in the high end.
I'll go for
your most Schumacher film. You would.
I'm gonna go with. It's hard. I'm gonna say two of them. Well, this is hard.
Do one.
I love these two movies.
I'm gonna get the other. Do one because I'm gonna get the other. That's the whole point.
Look at this guy. He just passed me to get two.
Double dip, screw me over. Do one and I'll do the other.
All right, I'm gonna go with the one that I seen the most as a kid growing up.
Wow. I know where he's going.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? That's probably the one I would have done too.
Yeah.
Go.
Wait, why do you guys automatically think that's the one? Like I could say,
go ahead.
I could say anything. I could.
Yeah,
I was a very angry kid in traffic. So no, I'm gonna go with the Lost Boys.
Yeah. Woo!
I'm gonna go with the Lost Boys. There's not much to say about that movie, man. Like the whole pre-Jack Bauer, Kiefer Sutherland as a vampire. I don't know. It was just it's like a cool teen vampire movie before teen vampire movies went to crap, right? Like this was like a cool one.
Yeah. Right.
There's some cheesy stuff in there with the
massive. There's a lot of massive cheesy
stuff, with the two
good,
Corys and but I mean, come on, you gotta watch that movie, man. The Lost Boys was great growing up. That was just a fun movie to watch.
It was.
But yeah, I mean, you go ahead, Omega. You could take my favorite adult movie from him. Omega?
What just happened? Did he get another blackout?
Is he not there? Oh my God! Did he get another blackout?
Oh God!
All right, so I'm gonna go with Falling Down. Right, that's my second pick.
You bastard!
That's my second pick because, and I'm gonna keep doing this. I don't care. The way Michael Douglas, he kills it. He kills it in that movie, man. The way his anger, like. Him being I think he goes to like a McDonald's or something, and he's like super pissed. And
I can't believe you're taking.
No, I mean those are my two favorite Joe Schumacher movies, so I'm just gonna go with those. Man, those two movies are.
I cannot believe you actually took that movie away from him.
Listen, he could go with Batman and Robin if he wants. Okay, he could do that, or
we should name all the movies and leave Batman and Robin.
Listen, I'm just gonna go through the line since we already did ours. He could take Batman or Robin. He could take A Time to Kill, which was also good.
A Time to Kill.
8 millimeter. Also very good.
Yep.
I did not know he did the number 23 with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie, to be honest with you, man.
It's okay.
I don't think I've seen that movie too. I'm not even kidding. I really don't think. You know what? He did a phone booth.
Phone booth. Yeah, another Kiefer. We worked with Kiefer a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was the guy in the phone talking to Colin Farrell.
He was a voice.
Yeah. That movie wasn't that bad, but it's super dated because there's no phone booth.
Oh yeah, definitely super
at
dated.
all.
Like nobody will ever get caught in that situation.
Like,
ever
where is he? Dude, I'm just gonna step out and use my phone. Like,
in the history of our world now, no one will ever get caught in that situation.
Ever. Yeah, but the phone booth was okay. The number 23 was also an okay movie. It wasn't amazing or anything like that, but I remember when it came out, a lot of people really dug it. Like everyone was like, "Hey, Jim." I guess maybe it's because Jim Carrey never really done like a horror type, not horror, but
Jim Carrey went crazy
movie, right? He didn't do like a suspense movie, but
no.
I'm back.
Yeah, The Lost Boys definitely. Oh, you're back.
He's such a dick.
Nah, he messed my thing. Yeah, so The Lost Boys. I'm gonna go with The Lost Boys. Cool vampire. I don't know where you left off, but the cool teen vampire feel before all the Twilight stuff happened. This was it, and they were like legit vampires, like with the teeth, and it was very like rock and roll to me. So it was cool.
It had obviously had the two Corys. Who was this guy? Jason Patrick, right? I think his name
Jason
is.
Patrick. Yeah, that was
Jason
Michael.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome in it.
Michael.
And what I was saying is like you said before the Twilight stuff. I think not the Twilight stuff. This more invoked and inspired like the Buffy, the Supernaturals, the cool vampire stuff. Is what comes out of that. And yeah, it's great story, great, especially 80s. I mean, that's another one of those
that
movies.
Inspired Twilight too.
Unfortunately, I mean, it did itch because it has the whole story of the love affair and the romance. So
but only in the 80s, right?
But
in the 80s, it was extra cool.
Very, very 80s film.
This is very 80s, very 80s.
Very 80s. I'm actually going to go with, I really thought, and I already know what the other one he's going to do, so I'm going to let him have it, because I got to go with the one that to me, is the most impressive.
Nah, go ahead, bro. Just do the one.
Of what he's done.
Just do the one.
I'm going to go with 8. I'm going to go with 8 millimeter. We'll mention the other one because I think all three of us can agree on the other one. But I'm gonna go with 8 millimeter, which is with Nicolas Cage and James Gandolfini, and I mean it's got an all-star cast. Joaquin Phoenix is incredible in that movie.
I didn't know he did that movie, to be honest. I didn't know Joel Schumacher did that movie.
I didn't either until I checked his stuff, and I was like, what he did. And I mean all the other ones he has here. I mean I was actually surprised by it because I can't get Batman Forever out of my head. But
a lot of that movie had a lot of great cast though.
Great cast, great scenes. I mean, it's got some dark stuff in it.
Yeah.
One of Nicolas Cage's best. I mean, honestly, performances and films is 8 millimeter, and
for sure.
It goes to show that Schumacher actually had quite a very eclectic and wide range of directorial styles from film to film, because his movies don't that's the whole point of that. Like I watch 8 millimeter, I don't know he did Lost Boys based on that, or Flatliners based on that, A Time to Kill based on that, Phone Booth, based on that. It's
apparently
pretty
he also did Seal. He did a Kiss from a Rose, the first.
Yeah, the music video. I saw that too.
He actually made that a hit.
Coming back to Batman for before we bring up the last one, before we bring up the last Schumacher movie, I just gotta. This is crazy because this Zack Snyder cut crap is affecting all kinds of things. Apparently, there is rumors, and they're very strong rumors, and it's probably gonna happen because now that he's passed away, that there is a 2.5 hour original cut of Batman Forever.
Stop it.
That was completely dumbed down, and then they did a bunch of reshoots to make it more kid friendly, so they can sell Happy Meals and Taco Bell cups.
Batman Forever or Batman and Robin?
No, Batman Forever actually.
Okay.
The Two-Face Riddler one, yeah. So not the Bane, Mr. Freeze,
not the really bad one, just the bad one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But apparently there's a much, because the original script that I think Tim Burton had going. He was supposed to introduce Robin and Batman Returns, and they never did that. And then apparently they got really into like the darkness of Robin's character and what he dealt with, and so apparently it was less kid friendly. It was supposed to, I guess, going to be a much darker Tim Burton style-esque version, but then I guess he really let the studio bully him into. I mean, we'll see. We'd have to see what it is. You know what I mean? At least that's the rumors that are coming now, that there's just like the Zack Snyder cut, a much better cut of Batman Forever, and I have a feeling we're gonna get to see it, because especially that he's passed away. They're obviously gonna pay him homage in some way, and cash in on it as well. Yeah. Warner Brothers.
It's still gonna be better than Justice League. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I'm pretty sure.
Like, just as pure comedy, it's gonna be better as Justice League.
Then Batman versus Superman, the first cut. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll end on the final note is. I'll let MSK go ahead and take it, because this is a movie that he also likes a lot from Schumacher. That same thing, nothing like all the other stuff on his repertoire.
That movie is great though. That movie is great.
The one that we're about to talk about.
What? Yes,
the one we're about to talk about.
All right,
that movie is great.
Shoot, I'll let MSK start it. Go.
Yeah,
no, because I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna do something that is not even the one that we're gonna talk about. Go ahead.
What do you
if he says St. Elmo's Fire, I'm gonna disconnect again.
Well, St. Elmo's Fire is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's like the college version of The Breakfast Club.
But it's not the movie we're talking about.
Right? But I'm just saying it's a good movie. But no, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, 2004 Phantom of the Opera. All right? That movie. No, it's Falling Down, man, for sure. Falling Down.
Of course, man. Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Which, just a side note on that, there's a movie coming out with Russell Crowe. That's totally falling down. It's what it is.
Oh, is it? I'm sure they had to update. They have to update that story, I guess. I don't know, man. That movie still holds up. Up for me.
It's
he loses it.
Duvall.
He loses. I feel like that guy every day in traffic.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. People who drive in Miami traffic totally, which is sorry for the docs, but MSK is the falling down story. Yeah, man. When you drive in traffic like that, you get it. You get it. And if you had a bad couple of weeks or and that's, the thing with the film Falling Down, there's more to the backstory. It's not just one bad week. It's not one bad month.
No. And he's going through a divorce and he just lost his job. And it's like,
it's a lifetime of traffic. That's all it takes. A lifetime of traffic. This is why we need to move on from this, man. This is
we need flying cars ASAP.
We need something else. This is ridiculous. All this traffic.
That movie goes off the rails, especially because, and they do the smart thing, because obviously it's one of those films where you catch yourself midway through, like, oh man, I'm kind of siding with this guy. I'm kind of getting it. You know what I mean? And then they do a great way of then, like, okay, he's going too far. This guy is a problem. Yeah. He is the bad guy. He's like, it's one of those, movies that reminds you halfway through, like, stop relating. This guy is a bad person.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, but did you know that he actually did Phone Booth though?
Yes, he did also do Phone Booth with Colin Farrell, your favorite actor. And
yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Huh?
I didn't, again, before sadly I gotta acknowledge
it happens. It happens, man.
I was totally in the tank against him. I knew about Lost Boys, and then I felt from Lost Boys to Batman Forever was and actually no, you know what? A Time to Kill is an excellent film. That's one with Samuel Jackson, Matthew McConaughey.
That is a very
I did remember that was him right away after he pressed. I'm like, you know what?
Did you know that he did the number 23
movies? And then when I went in there, I was like, oh man, this guy's done a lot.
He was just not that type of flashy director type of deal. Man. Like, like you said before, his movies were so different that obviously he didn't leave one of those, oh man, he always had this sci-fi down. It's just he was just able to explore his craft, and he did well with it, man.
No, and he had as a director, he has a chameleon fingerprint, because Tarantino movies, like even Spielberg does a big array of different films, but you can still tell they're Spielberg. Like, you know what I mean? You feel when it's a Spielberg production or directorial film. But I look at this list, I'm like, man, I really could easily say that each one of these movies was a different director, easily.
Yep,
easily, and believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Company. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, with Chris Rock, right?
Chris Rock, yeah,
and Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. That's another good one.
Yeah. He had good movies, man. He had some good movies. I mean, he's always going to be remembered as the guy that ruined Batman, right?
Yeah,
because those movies are terrible.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But I mean, you know, he has other good movies, man. And I will say that Val Kilmer was not a terrible.
Look, I'll put it this way. It ruined Batman, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It was colorful enough for the kids growing up in that time.
For that demographic, I remember not hating Batman.
I'm not gonna say it ruined Batman.
Yeah.
No.
I can tell you that nowadays, the things that we're getting could be ruining Batman for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say he ruined Batman. I just say it just went on a different route, and it got very colorful, and the kids enjoyed it. And you know, like seeing it in the movie theaters, I think it was different then. So I mean,
well, I saw Batman Forever in the movie theaters, and I was like, okay, it's not better than the first two Batman, but it's still entertaining, right?
Yeah.
I didn't mind Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was okay. It's just the look of it that was kind of like, all right, not my.
Yeah,
I really don't dig it.
It was colorful.
Yeah, Batman and Robin was awful though. There's no.
And in fairness, I mean, remember the Batman and Robin series with Adam West. You know, it's like that's totally not what Batman should have been either. Then, but
before its time,
it's for the times of what you get, and some things hold up, some things don't, and when you take things for what they are for when they are. And I think that's why we're so much more critical now, especially of superhero films, because right now superhero films are hot. Superhero television shows are hot. Everyone's doing them, and most people are doing them very well. So when they're bad, we kind of don't have any patience for them, because now they don't have the excuse of not having actors willing to do it, not having the budget, not like a lot of excuses are gone. So when people make a bad superhero movie, you know, and you know, some people are willing to rip on themselves. Look at Ryan Reynolds, how much they rip into Green Lantern all the time, and he gets it. He's, you know, and you know, Wolverine Origins, he gets it. You know,
you have to bring it nowadays. You have to bring it, like whether it's a superhero or not. Like you have to bring your A game into the scripts, because. Yeah, like you might be selling tickets, and you might have a franchise, and people you may get a fan base, but I'm telling you, like if you don't bring it, it's hard for you to work in the industry.
No, and it's always the same problem. It's like now after HBO starts doing all these video game shows and movies that they're gonna do, it's gonna be the same thing with video game. Finally, it'll be the same thing with video game movies and shows, because once it's brought correctly, you start going, listen. The standard, which should always be, and I think that's where we're all critical as superhero fans, like if you read comic books or watch some of these animated series, at bare minimum, just do that in live action and you win. So when you deviate from the comic book or animated series and do your own thing, then it better be good.
Yeah.
Because why deviate when all you got to do is live action that, and we'll be happy.
Yep.
Fans will be happy because it's great material. And that's what you do, is capturing a new audience, because not everyone reads comic books, but now they're going to go see a live action. They'll be like sold. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of, you know, things have done that the right way. Again, we don't know. Maybe we see that 2.5 hour cut and he's vindicated. But,
hey, you know, so now let's move on. This is it. Are we going to?
I think we're done.
We're set to go. So we'll end it on that. Joel Schumacher was a great director. I mean, he has an incredible body of work. Every director has some doozies. Well, maybe not Christopher Nolan. But you know, it is what it is. And
to us. I mean, everybody else, people actually do hate Christopher Nolan.
Man of Steel.
Yeah,
a lot of people, even though he's not the director of Man of Steel. But
a lot of people hate Dark Knight Rises is the one I hear a lot.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Which that's my least favorite Nolan film. I don't dislike it. I love it, but it's probably my least favorite.
I will say that, and I really like that movie. So I mean,
we'll do a Nolan episode. That's
we'll do an episode.
Great way to end. Great way to end. We'll definitely with Tenet eventually coming out. We'll eventually do a like we did with Tarantino. We'll do a Nolan watch and we'll break it down.
We'll do our next podcast in like 3 months. All right, cool. Let everybody know when we're coming back. I like it. I like it. I like
when is Tenet coming out? 3 months, right?
I like where your mind is at.
I didn't say the next episode. I said we would do a episode.
Yeah.
I like where your mind is at.
It's a smart move, Yobi. It's a smart move.
Take a little break. Break.
I like where your head is at. I said a episode. I'd say the next episode. Because we're gonna need some time to do the homework. I mean, I know MSK watches Nolan movies like every week, anyways. It's
every year I do a Nolan binge.
You just do it every year to do every year. Or you do it for every time he releases a movie.
In the beginning, I used to do it every time he releases a movie, but now it's taking a little longer for him to release a movie. I just do it every year now. So like the last 2 years.
So you're ready. So you're ready for the next
since
one,
Dunkirk, right? Dunkirk was his last movie like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I still watch his movies.
A beast.
So
I gotta rewatch Dunkirk.
yeah,
I have to rewatch that.
Yeah, especially after watching 1917. I kind of like want to watch them, one after the other.
You guys should rewatch
watch it like at the same time.
Yeah, one on one screen. Oh my god, that's like I'll go into seizures. Watch one on my phone and the other one on my TV.
Well, that's what I want to do with Dunkirk and what's the Churchill movie? That's what I want to do because it's the same.
Gary Oldman,
huh?
With Gary Oldman.
With Gary Oldman, yeah, because it's the same. It's the same time period. It's dealing with the same thing,
Yeah. Smart.
So it'd be cool to watch that.
But so yeah, that'll wrap up. Watch Dark. Watch some Joel Schumacher films, not Batman Forever or Batman and Robin, but definitely Lost Boys, Flatliners, 8mm.
Don't watch Penny Dreadful.
Don't watch
City of Angels.
And if you're gonna watch it,
Pennies,
just give up after second episode.
Yeah, for those of you that are hooked, every once in a while, Yo Peace and I, next season at some point, whenever they have it, we'll probably drop a note here and there. But for anyone who's not jumped on it, it is definitely an anti-necessity. Don't get yourself hooked on it.
Yeah.
Avoid it.
I'll tell you right now.
Sad.
I'll tell you right now. You guys are the only ones that I know that's ever seen. Not ever, but this season of Penny Dreadful Los Angeles. You guys are the only people I know that are watching it.
Well, that's comforting.
So,
well, we know who's paying Showtime's bills.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, not anymore. It's month to month, baby. So on that note, this is Omega saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace. Peters.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.
What the heck? I was like, yeah, of course you're going to go now. Now you want to go. Okay. Now you want to leave.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Let's leave right now.
Oh, man.
Jesus.